We have a special guest from Comerica, Sineria, or I'm sorry, Sineria, can you please pronounce your last name?
Sure thing. Sineria Ordonez.
Ordonez. Okay, I'll never ask again. So Sineria Ordonez with Comerica Bank, who's going to give us an insight regarding banking 101, organizational banking, corporate banking, the host of services that they provide and they offer to the small business community. And so we're very grateful to Comerica as well as Sineria for taking the time and participating in this morning's town hall. So I want to begin by thanking you. We're going to get started just because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Given the nature of these small business discussions, I think that it is critical for us to be able to to engage and share openly the dialogue with what our needs are and what our experiences are when we have experts, that way that they can provide us the greatest counsel based on what our scenario or our situation may require. So with that, we're going to get started with our business town hall, our small business town hall. Gotta be kidding me. You guys didn't hear anything I said.
We heard you in the beginning. Just recently toggled off to mute. So back up 30 seconds.
Hold on one second. Okay, all right. I'm technology, despite everything that we've gone through over the last 3 years, is still my Achilles heel. So Sage is San Antonio for Growth on the East Side. We are the economic development engine for everything in East San Antonio. What that means is that we are here to provide opportunities for our small business community to engage in B2B, business to business opportunities, as well as market expansion opportunities that may exist with your business enterprise. We are here as your advocate so that we can ensure that the growth of your organization is sustainable and that you have all of the tools that are necessary in your toolbox to be successful. Our second major push is to advance the mission and the cause for all small business opportunities and development. We want to promote the history of the East Side and the culture of the East Side and provide innovative, progressive solutions to some of the challenges that we've faced historically. Next slide, please. Last month, we had a guest speaker from the county, Renee Watson. Renee is the Economic Development Director for Bexar County for small businesses. She informed us about the opportunities that exist within the county, as well as the certifications that are necessary in order to be able to pursue some of those opportunities are handled directly from Renee Watson's office. Renee may or may not be on the line right now, but if anyone is interested in getting more information regarding Bexar County and the opportunities that exist, please reach out to our office and we will get that information to you expeditiously.
Robert?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Linda Papayanopoulos. I work with Renee.
Yes, ma'am.
She's the director of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Department. You had her over economic development. So, and I am the capacity building program coordinator. So my role is to work with small businesses, help them build capacity so eventually they could do business with their county or compete for other government contracts.
And that's the beauty of having such a robust team. Bexar County is on the line and they're correcting everything that I'm saying. But Renee she could be the economic development director.
She very well could be.
All right. The next item that we discussed was the city council as well as the American Recovery Program Act dollars. That's ARPA. Those are that's $230 million that are coming down through the state to be distributed amongst the communities for the purposes of enhancing or correcting any damages that may have been caused as a result of COVID-19. We are actively pursuing those dollars. We would like for the Small Business Roundtable or Small Business Town Hall to be actively engaged in the process so that we can ensure that those monies are dispersed in a manner that is consistent with what is the greatest need for the small business community. So we would like for you to definitely stay in the loop with respect to ARPA, and we will continue to keep you updated. We went over the bond election and explained where we were with that. The bond passed in a overwhelming referendum in support of the redevelopment of our infrastructure, parks, schools, and the like. And so that was a huge win for the city of San Antonio and the east side. And then we're setting our fiscal year 2023 budget goal setting so that we understand exactly where those attentions need to be placed. Next slide, please. And so now I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Russell Leday. He is our Chief Financial Officer here at San Antonio for Growth on the East Side, and he's going to give an overview of some of the programming that we have that is available to you as a small business. Mr. Leday.
Good morning. Thank you, Robert, and thank you all for joining us today. One thing that we recognize at SAGE is that our small businesses and nonprofits are the backbone of our economy. And so we want to do everything that we can to assist these organizations to become better, improve their operations. So we've established, one of the programs we've established is the SAGE Back Office Program. And the SAGE Back Office Program we refer to as SBOP stands in the gap of our small businesses and nonprofit organizations. The basic things that we provide support needed to ensure that the background operations are successful. We realize that many of our small businesses, owners and operators, as well as nonprofit leaders, have established entities based upon their passion. And sometimes the background operations are not as up to speed. So we want to stand in that gap for you. We want to be able to help you to improve your fiscal management, provide technical assistance, records management, as well as bookkeeping. We will also be contacting our small businesses located on the East Side to assess your operations and to provide referrals and opportunities where you can improve your operation. And we're hoping that today and the small business town halls will help you in getting to that. And so we're here for you. We encourage you to contact us. I can be reached at 210, and that information will be provided later, 248-9178, and I'm at extension 112. And we'll be more than happy to sit with you to analyze your situation and to provide assistance to you where available. So again, thank you for being with us today. And we look forward to being able to enhance our opportunity to serve you. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Melvin.
Thank you, Mr. Leday. I'd also like to acknowledge on June 14th, we will be having our small business town hall. It's going to be in person. We are doing this in collaboration with the San Antonio African American Chamber of Commerce. We have their president and CEO on today, Xavier Tolson. I want to thank you, Xavier, for your participation. We look forward to working closely with the African American Chamber of Commerce moving forward as we address the small business needs and issues within East San Antonio. So thank you, Xavier, for your participation. Next slide, please. Excellent. So I get the pleasure of introducing Sineria Ordonez with Comerica Bank. I really hope that I got that last name correctly. She is an amazing advocate, an amazing personality, and just a wonderful partner as we are looking to enhance the products and services that we're bringing to Eastside small businesses. Sineria joined Comerica as their Vice President of External Affairs Market Manager, South Texas, and was recently appointed as the National Hispanic Business Development Manager. In this role, Sineria is to support Comerica's ongoing commitment to strengthening relationships with Hispanic business leaders, entrepreneurs, and communities across its 5 primary markets: California, Michigan, Arizona, Florida, and most importantly, Texas. As External Affairs, Sineria is responsible for community reinvestments with priorities in small business, economic and workforce development, affordable housing, education, including financial education, and neighborhood revitalization programs benefiting low to moderate income individuals and communities. With that, I will allow Ms. Sineria to take the microphone. Thank you for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone on this call, on this Zoom meeting. And thank you, Sage, for intentionally bringing these town halls that, really are a gateway to additional resources and information sharing opportunities for our local businesses. So I am happy to be here. And if you give me here a minute, I would like to share my screen so that way we can kind of get started on some of the things we can talk about today. So for the purpose of today's meeting, our title is financial literacy, but really I wanted to create the big picture as to why financial literacy is so important. And then some things to kind of take into account. And I was pretty aggressive with the timeline or the presentation, so we might not get to everything. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
But can you see the presentation?
Oh, yes, ma'am, we can.
You can? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. It was taking me somewhere else. So again, so just over big level, and then, the team, I don't know how you want to do this, maybe towards as the slides are coming. If anyone has any questions, we can take the questions thereafter, or we can designate the last 10 minutes of the presentation for questions and answers. You let me know. I'm very open, I'm very flexible, but I'm excited to be here. And again, when it comes down to it, the title of who I am, Sineria Ordonez, External Affairs, really just think of me as a champion for our small businesses and making sure that we are providing some of the resources that our businesses need. And so that is, I saw in the previous slides with Sage that looked like technical assistance, guidance, building relationships with your bank. It shouldn't be intimidating. And so it's really coming down and telling you what some of those options, the power of choice is for you, so that way you can make the best decision for yourself. So with that, I will go ahead and kind of guide us through some of the points that I brought on today for discussion. So just a bit about Comerica. Comerica was originally based out of Detroit, opened its doors in August in 1849, if you can believe it. And then in 2011, Comerica then came and actually has its headquarters in Dallas. So, now 2022, Comerica is celebrating 173 years. Our markets do include Texas, Michigan, California, Arizona, and Florida. So our niche is small businesses. We're a commercial bank. And so with that, it's really important that, again, we are connecting with our local entrepreneurs and local businesses and engage and really understand some of their challenges and how we can come in and support. So overall, what is financial literacy? And so financial literacy is just a simple understanding of financial terminology, of statements, concepts, knowledge that you can use to make better financial decisions that will impact your business. So it helps for you to be able to succeed in many areas in business, really heighten your decision-making, negotiation, and leadership skills. So if anything, remember, financial literacy, all we are doing is equipping you with words, articulating words that are powerful, but also making sure that you're looking at the big picture as you're building out your business and what that means in terms of finance. So finance growth, kind of go hand in hand. So here are 5 ways that financial literacy can help you. Understanding the impact of your finances. Make informed decisions. You are able to advocate for your team's employees' budget, whatever that may look like for your business. And believe it or not, it improves your negotiation skills. And I'll kind of talk more about it down in some slides. And, finally, become financially efficient. So if you understand the big picture, where things are going financially, then you're better able to see the overall outcome of what you're trying to achieve. So, often what we are asked is, well, how important is creating business credit? Why is that important for our small businesses? And so there is a very strong correlation between when you have to depend on your personal credit to establish your business versus depending on the age of your business, and then being able to, down the line, really see that heightened importance of business credit. So if you see the top bar right here, you're going to be dependent on your personal credit. If you're the aspiring entrepreneur, you're starting off your business, and you're relying heavily on your personal credit as your business is established. But here towards the middle, small businesses grow. And with that, you're going to need that business credit. And so that also becomes, the personal credit will be a factor in the lending decisions. That puts you here in the middle bucket. Now, this last one, obviously, that means your business is growing. You're building out your idea. It's become a lot more sophisticated, your business model. And so in order for you to really continue that leap of that growth right here on the bottom, you're going to depend more on establishing business credit. So we often say, whether you're ready or not, you just have to know what your options are, because your growth will be dependent on you establishing a business credit. So here's another visual of the importance of credit. So it comes in line with supporting businesses' growth and their sustainability. And that means access to finance. And access to some of those finances will really be determined by where your business credit is, or if you have that business credit. So we say it takes some time. So when you're building out relationship, it's better to build out relationships with your bank or banker, early on before you actually need them, just because you want to know what some of those options are. And so building your business credit is top to that. And so, this creates a whole circle of accessing that financing means that you will then be able to acquire the manufacturer inventory that you might need for the new growth that you foresee in your business. You're able to purchase your equipment and materials, and you're able to manage your working capital. And so it really is a cycle. And so now we get to what is establishing a business credit, what you should have. So you should have your employee identification number, a business credit report. and business lenders reporting your credit information. And if you haven't established one, this is a perfect time to start thinking, how do I establish that business credit? Again, not because you're going to be seeking something immediately, but you're just building, you're exercising, and ensuring that when that moment comes, that people can really see that you've already established this credit. So what and in line with that are the things that you should do: get your identification number, your business credit, verify whether you already have one, start establishing one. And then for the business lenders, ask lender suppliers to report information about you, and self-report for financial and credit data, so that way your business has that credit history that you will need. Any questions before we move on? I can't see the chats.
There are currently no questions in
Okay.
the chat, but you can drop your questions in the chat and we'll bring them to Sineria's attention. You could also raise your hand, and then we'll let you unmute and speak your question out loud.
Thank you. So, all right, what are some of the best practices for a strong business credit? Maintain healthy credit, pay your loans, bills, and taxes on time. Make sure that-
Sineria,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We have a
No,
question from Mr. or Mrs. Washington.
Yes.
Washington, you can unmute yourself. Oh, here we go. You can unmute.
Okay, hi, good morning.
Morning.
Well, thank you very much for this one. This is very good, important, very good information. It's Mr. Washington is my first name, actually. So my question about what you were explaining, how to do that transition between a personal credit to a business credit. How actually work that transaction? What kind of revenue you need to have on your bank accounts? I think that's a little of the murky place, because I mean, as a business owners, when they come and they're like, "Well, do I need to do this credit? I don't need this credit yet." Or do I have many customers, or do I have enough customers to actually go through all this process? If you can elaborate a little more, because I think that's actually the part when business owners get a little lost. Like, at what point or what kind of interactions you have with my personal banker so they can help me to build that credit. It is a credit card, it is a line of credit, and all that kind of information.
Yes, great question. And I think you're referring to this graph about the spectrum of where we lie in the personal credit versus the business credit. Is this correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, because
so-
whenever the business go to the bank, the first interaction is to open a business account. Great.
Yes.
We have the revenue, we connect the money, right? And then what? Like, do I use my personal credit? Do I use my credit
Yes.
card? How can all that? I think that's the main connection. I don't know if it's for the rest of business owners, but for my case, I'm like, okay, I wanted to have a little more clear how I'm actually building the credit score for my business.
Yes, no, and that's good question. That's a great question. And there is an in between. One is, I'll touch on the second part of what that looks like as you're building that credit with your bank. But first off, I want to touch on how you make that transition from your personal credit to establishing a business credit. So remember, it's not about something that you need now, but something you want to establish, so that way, as your business grows, that you have history, so that you can tap and you can access some other type of funding that you might need down the line. But for this case, when you make that the first, the non-banking option is, you want to make sure, one, understanding that establishing and having a business credit history is important for the future of your growth. So now that we've established that, second is the way that you will begin to establish some of your business credit, they will still, and I can give some examples. There are things that you can do because it's going to tap into what your personal credit history is. And with that, it's going to be in line with what you can actually get as you're starting to build your credit. So some businesses, what they do is that they open up an Office Depot account under the business name. And so what that does is that as you're building or as you're purchasing already materials that you need for your business, you're doing it under an Office Depot account. That's very simple. Those are less than $500. And what you're doing is just creating some history. So you're already purchasing items from Office Depot. If you do it in a credit base, you're beginning to establish your credit. Second thing is the relationship between your bank, whether, when you have an account, a business account, they will be able to guide you that you can open up a line of credit or a credit card if that is feasible, if that is an option that you want to explore. Now that allows you also, to build that history. But again, there might be other ways. Let's say that you go to your bank, and because you're a new business, there's a couple of things that they have to establish, and because you're so new that you might not be granted a credit card. So sometimes what ends up happening is that some entrepreneurs end up going to their personal bank, and because they have history, again, that's the part, because they have history, then they are able to obtain a line of credit with their business entity, but tied to their personal credit history. So the better your credit history is on the personal side, the more likely that they are more inclined to consider what your history, what you could obtain as credit. The other thing with your banking, if it's your business banking, is that there are such things as secure cards. And so secure cards are a means for you to use your own money into this account so that you can begin establishing credit. And again, these are all just soft mentions on how you can begin to transition, because you want to create that history. What you will be given in terms of credit will, again, in the beginning and this middle stage, will be dependent on how good your personal credit is. And then, but you want to make sure that your business shows that there are some transactions. And as you build towards it, you will be able to see that, maybe lending opportunities or credit opportunities with your business bank will increase or will look different, just depending on the history that you're able to make. So let me know if that is helpful.
That was very helpful. Thank you very much. Like when we start the transition, I try to use my AIN. I think that I can ask for these details later on, but thank you very much. That was very helpful.
No, great question. And some of the businesses that we have worked with, sometimes because they're so new, they're under 3 years. It's really hard for banks to say, well, to even consider a credit card. And so what I always mention and share with business owners, there are other ways, there are other tactics. Look into your personal bank, look into Office Depot. Also, you might have a relationship or a contract with a big supplier, and so sometimes it's just talking to them and saying, hey, there's a big shipment that constantly I order, and there is a way that you can work with them so that, again, that they can report some of that history that you've created with them, because that's really what business credit is. Just like personal credit is, you want to create a history. And so here are some of the best practices: is maintain a healthy credit, pay your loan bills and taxes on time. Make sure that your business is visible. I can't emphasize that enough. We're working hard. A lot of time we're putting into our personal money into the businesses, but again, establishing that business credit is a way that your business becomes visible. Maintain good relationship with your supplier and vendors. And this is the example of, with some of those suppliers, if they are able to make a report of you in the beginning of how you've established that relationship, that's going to be crucial as you ask banks for loans in the future. And separate your personal and your business finances, 2 different accounts. Don't let it mix. And monitor your personal and business credit histories. And the personal credit history is, just like that example that I shared, it's going to help you with that transition as you build that. You're depending on personal credit, but then you transition into your business credit history. And so they both are aligned until you're able to successfully truly build out more of that business history that you will need down the line as you grow. All right, so now we go to the benefits or financial management. And why am I bringing this up? And it comes down to the beginning of the slides, and it's, you want to reach your goals by making good decisions. But you need to know what that big picture is so that you can make the best informed decision. Know your profitability, forecast your growth, plan for diversification, new product lines, reaching new markets. What does that look like for you? And prepare for financing loans. So all of this is indicative, again, back to growth. How are you going to seek financing for that growth? Depending on here, what you're wanting the next line item of your business or your growth stage to be. So what are the criteria for loans, or qualifying for a loan? You need a good credit score. You need equity contribution, and repayment ability. Whatever the loan amount is, make sure that it's something within the realm of reality that you can pay back. What does that look like? And then your loan to value ratio. So these are some of the things that are taken into consideration. And again, we always say, depending on the stage of your business, it's not that you will need a loan right now, but what you want to do is make sure that you understand what your options are with your bankers or with your specific banking representative. So what does that look like for you? Even if you're not looking for a loan right now, it's better to know what your options are before you actually need it. What we saw during COVID was that because we're not establishing that relationship with our banker, we don't know some of those criteria. So when we went, our business owners went to look for PPP loans, they realized they don't have a credit history. There is a lot in terms of the establishing the relationship to know what some of those options were to keep the doors open during the beginning stages of COVID. And so that's why we are now, every time we get on the calls, it doesn't matter who your bank is, just make sure that you're establishing that relationship with them and that you're understanding what are the things that are needed for you to build that criteria for a future loan, even though, again, it's part of the forecast, even though you might need it in 3 or 5 years from now. And the more options that you have, the better decisions you can make, because you can see who's giving you the best options based on your business needs. So I always say that when you get your sense of choices, then you have power. And so with that power comes you being able to make a better decision that best fits your business needs. So here are the steps to getting ready for loans. And again, I'm just going over overview so that we can just dialogue, and then afterwards, we can, if you have more specific questions. But so the steps to getting ready for a loan is having that business plan, include a profit plan, know what you can afford. So a loan, I hear from certain businesses, if I can continue working without a loan, well, that's great. And if there comes an opportunity that you need one, we just say be responsible, that it has to be within the means of what you can afford. Study your financial statements and check your credit report. Establish collateral options, show your equity contribution, and again, emphasizing research your financing options. When you know your options, you have the power of choice. And improving your chances of getting a business loan. What does it look like? So we break it down to simple 5 C's. Here are your 5 C's. This is what you need in terms of credit, right? For you to get that business loan in the future. What's your capacity? Your ability to repay a loan. What's the collateral? The security to repay the loan. So oftentimes, certain businesses are seeking a loan, and then they have to put some collateral as they're securing that loan. What is that credit history? Your credit performance of the owner, you as the owner, as a sole entrepreneur, and the business. The conditions of the loan in the business environment, and character is a big is the number 5 that a lot of banking really are looking for. Integrity, your reputation, your references. So remember when I said establish and have your, build those relationships with your suppliers and vendors, because when it comes to you needing access to capital down the line, these references are going to be important. And the people who you do business with, they will be able to vouch for you. And so that's a line of character and integrity that the banks look for. So those are the simple breakdowns. You just get to those simple 5 ways to break it down. So loans. All right. So what are some of the common elements that come in a loan package? So, again, that business plan, your business financial statements, what's the current and historical. And so this is where, your bookkeeping and CPA, if you have one, are crucial to making sure that you are building out those healthy financial structures, but also finance statements for the company. Your personal financing statements and your personal and business tax returns. So all that have, if you are delayed on business taxes, again, that doesn't look favorable to the business. And so pay your bills on time and pay your taxes on time. It's part of the character building as you look to consider a loan in the future. And so what are some of those elements? It comes back to the source and the amount of equity contribution, your credit report, the collateral, and purchase agreements, appraisers, contracts, and estimates. So we have certain businesses who said, I don't need a loan. However, 2 years down the line, they get a contract. They earn like a $3 million contract from the city. And in that contract, there are additional purchases that they have to make so that they can deliver on that $2 million or $3 million contract that they just got. So guess what that means? It's money that's coming, revenue that's coming to the business, but you don't have the equipment to really complete out that contract that's forthcoming. And so businesses find themselves having to then go and see, hey, can I get a loan for the amount to complete some of the work that you're going to need, or some of the new technology that you're going to have to purchase for this new contract. And so I always say it's not an expense, it's an investment. So it's an investment you're going to have to make on your business to complete that contract that you may have just earned. Okay. So things to remember, remember that types of financing include your own savings as well. Understand the features of different loan products and how it helps you evaluate your options. You may qualify for government programming, and that depends on the purpose of loan and other characteristics. And again, you're not alone. You have Sage, who is, is a true partner and wants to ensure that you have all the information out to you and that you are tapping into other opportunities as well. You should evaluate the benefits and the risk of non-banking financing. And so if, seeking a loan is not an option for you, what does that look like? And evaluate those benefits, the risk and the benefits to it. Again, depending on your plan of acceleration for growth for your business, and build your network with lenders, suppliers, and other potential partners to increase your company's visibility. And I would even add, build your relationship with your banker. You can, and even if you're not ready now, right now is the time to ask the questions. So that down the line, you feel that you are ready, or that you've built a criteria for your business that would put you in the best light. And any questions? The rest are really just goal setting. This is, coming in and saying, create a revenue goal for your business. And what does that look like for the month, for the year? And, clearly defining your written goals helps you really from there, detail the list of tasks, prioritize your tasks, understanding the things that you need to keep your business going, and then build in that flexibility. So an example could be as simple as, I will generate a minimum of $6,000 in sales every month. So starting the month of June, I will just a simple statement really gives you an opportunity to visualize as a business owner where you want to be, how you want to heighten those goals. And based on that goal, believe me, you will make very different decisions, because you're going to stay true to that goal that you see as a business. And so with that, I just want to emphasize, part of your goal creation is, what are your short-term, what are your midterm, and what are your long-term goals? Long-term goals being over 2 years. And so, again, this comes back to how you want to define your goals, and what you do now in this coming quarter, and then how you pivot to the next months. And, just stay clear on what those goals are, and don't be afraid to make your one statements about what you visualize for your business. Because again, you're building a business because you believe in this idea, you believe in this service that you are providing to your customers that only you can deliver. And so just be mindful and stay true to some of those goals. And then your action plan, just following on that set of goals. We often say, what are your SMART goals? And that the acronym for, S, be specific, state your goal precisely. M, measurable, good measurements let you know when your goal is completed. What does that look like for you? A, is it attainable, resources needed to complete the goal that are within your reach? R, relevant, is the goal, is it applicable to your business? And time-based, the goal has a completion date or time. So, and everything else, from those SMART goals comes from, again, the example that I gave. What are your revenue goals? What are you aiming? What are you seeking to do? What is your next level? And then how can you improve your business? What does that look like? And then whether creating the history or loan down the line is a part of your growth strategy. So I am almost finishing up here, but I wanted to give an example of, what does it look like when your action plan, when you tie it to a specific SMART goal. And so there are different means or different capacities that the business needs. So for this example, a SMART goal, this business said, hey, I want to achieve an average monthly customer count of 500 within 3 months. Okay, great. So what is the task? What do you have to do? Okay, I have to increase social media outreach, identify effective marketing opportunities, and I need to look into my website and including an e-commerce feature so that I can get additional customers that leads to additional revenues. So what does that success look like? And so, you know, for this example, it's 400 customers in month one, 450 customers in month two. You know, they're looking at 50 increments, 500 in 3 months. And so when do you want to complete this by? All right, September. And then you go down through, okay, what are the resources that you need to accomplish this? And so when you become very specific on your SMART goals and align it, again, you know, you are able to capture what you're aspiring of your business. And it's just a good, healthy habit. So I was hoping that that would give us a visual example of what some of those SMART goal settings could look like for you as a business. And then my last slide, I couldn't leave without giving you, you know, avoiding fraud and scams. We have seen an increased amount of fraud and scams. And, you know, I just wanted to emphasize that businesses need to know that banks can't help with that as well. You know, with your banker, ask about the following. What are the secure access code, access protocols? What are some tips to avoid forged checks? You know, protecting your business debit cards. What does that look like? And protocols on reconciling your account. So, you know, just know that that is another way the bank can help, and it's part of you building and them building that relationship with you. So that's really what I wanted to share with the businesses today. And I am open if anyone has any other questions, thoughts, comments. Did something just call out to you? Please let us know.
Thank you very much, Sineria, for that very insightful discussion. I think it's very important for businesses to appreciate that bankers are not your enemy. They are necessary, and they are your friend, and it's about relationship building. So if you're looking to grow your business and you're looking to do so in a way that is consistent with traditional business practices, it is in your best interest to get to know your banker, express to them those same goals that Sineria just pointed out, so that you can walk the journey with an expert that would allow for you to be more successful as we move forward, as you move forward within your organization. Individuals such as Sineria, as well as Sage, and we are here to help you through that process. We are firm believers that the small business community are the drivers behind everything that we do within the city. And in order for us to do that, we have to bring you every resource that we know to be valuable throughout this process. As you all, I've stated this in the past, I am a former small business owner. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've seen success. I've seen more failures. And those failures came as a result of trying to be everything to the company. And I couldn't. I needed to release and let experts be experts. And that's when I was able to see tremendous growth in my own personal experience. So Sineria, thank you so very much. And thank Comerica for coming out and supporting Sage as you have done. And we're most appreciative. Again, I want to reiterate that our next small business town hall will be in person on June 14th at 2 p.m. It will be in person. We will be co-hosting this event with Xavier and the African American Chamber of Commerce. It's a very special event because we will have, it will be in person with our city's mayor, Ron Nierenberg, and Councilman Manny Pelaez, and Councilman Jalen McKee Rodriguez. And this will be an opportunity for Eastside small business owners to speak on their needs and concerns as it relates to their business in a post-COVID environment But then we also know that before COVID, there were some challenges that existed. So we want to bring all of those to the table when we have this discussion with the mayor and our city councilmen to support us. I'm asking that you all spread the word to other small businesses that would be interested in participating. That allows for us to get a more well-rounded visual of what the issues and concerns are for Eastside small businesses. Again, June 14th, 2 p.m., you will be there with the mayor, the city manager, Manny Pelaez, Jayla McKee Rodriguez, and other elected officials. So I'm asking that you spread the word. We will continue to pump this information out. It is very important that we have your participation, but more importantly, your open and honest dialogue with respect to how the city impacts or has impacted the growth and trajectory of your small business. So again, Sineria Ordonez, thank you so very much for assisting me in pronouncing your last name, but more importantly, for your willingness to support our small business community and spreading such valuable information. And we look forward to working with you all very closely in the future. With that, if there are no outstanding questions, I'm going to do this one more time because it's very important. June 14th, 2 p.m., Town Hall meeting with Mayor Ron Nierenberg, Manny Pelaez, Councilman Jayla McKee Rodriguez, so that we can discuss the small business needs of our community with those that have the ability to help push our cause forward. So if there are no additional questions, I want to again thank you all very much for your attention, your time, and your willingness to participate in these town halls. I look forward to seeing everybody on June 14th at 2 p.m. with Mayor Ron Nierenberg, Manny Pelaez, and Jayla McKee Rodriguez so that we can discuss small business issues and concerns in East San Antonio. Thank you, Xavier, for your participation. Again, Sineria, thank you so very much for all of the impactful information that you've given us. If there are no other questions, I want to thank you all. Go be extremely successful today. And I look forward to seeing you June 14th at 2 p.m. I appreciate you all. Thank you.